guys, David here, and welcome to Digital Outlook. Guys, what an amazing day we have seen inside this XRP ecosystem. Some really big deals have just actually taken place. In fact, we've got a spot ETF that the first one ever in the United States, Rex Osprey ETF, that has done $24 million to $25 million of volume in just the very first day. Now, guys, this is a big time deal. And to give it context, think about this. This is a 5x from what any XRP futures ETF has ever done. So that tells you guys the demand institutionally for XRP ETFs is going to be insane. And we know that as well because studies have been done. And in fact, JP Morgan did a study that said, listen, these XRP ETFs, there's an appetite somewhere between $7 to $9 billion that will pile on to this space. It is truly wild. This came out of most people were not even expecting to see, this kind of volume in the first 24 hours, but a 5x, 500% greater than any XRP futures ETF has done. Big, big, big. Now, I'm going to put the article right down in here where you can read this for yourself, but something else really massive, guys. Ripple has gone out there and they secured a major deal with DBS out in Singapore there, and utilizing Franklin Templeton to bring RLUSD and the XRP ledger to bear in Singapore. And this is a major, major deal. What we're seeing, and this is a thing I keep thinking about all the time, I cannot even imagine another setup in any equity or any of this digital asset space that represents the possibilities for XRP. That is my personal opinion. And the reason is, guys, we are at a place where all these ETFs are coming. The institutional demand is crazy. The deals that Ripple has been working out, truly phenomenal when you think about it. And you're watching it happen in real time. And yet you'll get every kind of FUD thrown our way, and they will literally try to cloud and clutter the comments galore. They don't want us talking about on and on. I think this is going to be absolutely tremendous for this space. And I'm going to actually put both the articles in there so you can really read what's going down here. But these kind of deals, when you're watching these things happen, don't think they just kind of happened overnight and happenstance. Think of the conversations that have been had. Think of the backroom meetings that have been done, the phone calls that were made, and on and on and on. And all these major players that are involved in this XRP ecosystem, do you think that they do not have a vested interest to watch this thing literally fly? Well, of course they do. Of course they do. And that is why you're watching institutional demand and whales just gobble up XRP like crazy. Every time that we have been shaken out, guess what? For everyone capitulating like that and selling, someone else had to be underneath there buying it. Who do you think that was? Do you know, guys, it was mostly institutional whales going out there? These wallets that already hold 1 to 10 million in XRP, just gobbling it all up. Now, why would they be willing to do that if they thought the whole thing was going to crash down to zero? Because, guys, they know it's not. So why on earth are we letting folks get out there and shake us out of our few $1,000 investments and scare the dickens out of us because, oh, no, what if this, what if that? Guys, you do not want to allow yourself to be led around like that. What I would recommend is you go and read this stuff up. Now, don't just read the articles. Go in and start researching it. Okay, what's the end game here? Why would they go and do that? Why is it so important that RLUSD actually gets utilized over there in Singapore? Do you know Singapore is one of the biggest conduits for cross-border remittances and all of that in the entire South and in the Asian market? I mean, it is massive. And one of the most major fintech hubs in the wide world. Now, think about this, because in every other bull run, and I always bring this up, look, in 2017, XRP was only listed on one U.S. exchange, right? It was Poloniex. And, of course, it just went bananas in 2017 with percentage gains. Do you know where all that volume came from? Most of it came from South Korea, guys. Most of it came from that part of the world. 2021 to 2022, XRP only listed on Uphold in the United States. Isn't this something? Most of the volume that drove that demand came out of South Korea, out of that area right there. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is a major, major hub for a lot of massive transactions in this space. And Ripple is getting themselves buried deep in those markets so that they can have a presence, and that is a big deal. When I talk to coaching clients all the time, I talk to them about, hey, look, when you're looking at all these things, one thing to ask yourself is, how are they incentivizing developers? How are they building out their ecosystem? And actually getting out there and putting those assets in a place where they are going to be able to be utilized to solve these global problems. It's a big time deal. Well, I'll tell you, XRP, it blows my mind at the level of problems that they are solving in this financial world, and beyond that, real world asset tokenization, decentralized identities, the data storage and AI and all that kind of stuff, on top of the massive, massive killer use case of cross-border remittances. Right there. I mean, it blows my mind. And what even blows my mind even further is how few people are totally aware of it. I mean, they are just oblivious. You think about this. Do you know how much XRP it actually takes to get in the top 10 percentile of holders for XRP? It only takes about 2,395, something like that, some small number. Do you realize that out of the multiple millions of wallets, that the majority of those are holding 500 or less XRP? You start accumulating and you get yourself to some of these goals, and you watch yourself hit, 5, 10,000, 20, 30, maybe even 100,000 XRP and beyond. Guys, you've put yourself in such a small amount of people that when this thing really does take off and it starts changing your life, it is going to be wild. Most times I hear comments and they'll read them down there and say, oh, why would they ever let all of us get that rich? How much? Do you know how much all of us really are? It's not as many as you think. And that's why, if you're getting in right now, I am telling you, in my belief, my estimation, my 100% biased opinion, you are early. You are so early. And we are literally at the threshold, I kid you not, of this thing literally exploding and massively. Of course, this reduction in the interest rate. And another one I believe is coming in October and November and December. It's going to go bing, bing, bing. The dominoes are going to fall. We got this one XRP spot, XRP ETF. We had Grayscale's XRP ETP go out. And by the way, an exchange traded product, guys, an exchange traded fund is an exchange traded product. Throw that down there. And by the way, for clarity purpose, a lot of people think, well, why would they do that? Because that would make XRP a security. No, it isn't. When the underlying asset of an ETF does not have to be a security, although the ETF itself is a security, right? And so this is where that fiduciary responsibility for a lot of these institutions gets satisfied, because it's a security right there, but they're getting direct exposure because of the spot position. Well, those dominoes are going to start to fall, aren't they? And all of the application around the wide world, like we had just talked about with the Spanish bank BBV, I think it's BBVA. And they're out there and they're offering, institutional custody solutions to retail clients for their XRP. In Dubai, come on, you can use XRP to get your pay your bills, buy your groceries, rent your apartment, get a car. I mean, you can use it as a monetary instrument. Unit of account, medium of exchange, store of value right there. The world is changing, guys. And it is changing really, really fast. And so I always am out there saying, listen, take your time, please, and go out and for your own benefit, just research it. Start peeling back the onion or pulling back the curtain and dig. And like I love to say, the answers that you find for yourself are the ones you are genuinely going to trust the most. I would never make an investment based on someone else's conviction. I would not. Now, is there confluence? Oh, yeah, for sure. You and I, we can get on here. We can talk about the things we love. We can talk about XRP, our favorite subject, and on and on. But hey, you're just getting my biased opinion. When you put it in the comments, I'm getting to hear yours. And we can have some great conversation and confluence about it. But I'll tell you, there is nothing like going out there and finding it out for yourself. That is for sure. Kind of like, when you're a kid and one of your friends went to Disneyland and talked to you about Magic Mountain and da. Well, then you get to go one day. You're waiting in line and you're sitting on that ride and you're thinking, wow, I sure hope it's as exciting as Bob told me, or as Sally said. And then you get in the seat and you're all strapped in, and all of a sudden, boof, down the chute you go, and wow, you go through there and it's all dark inside and it's twirling around. You're like, oh my gosh. And then you have a story, right? Then you're like, wow, you got to get on this ride and stuff like that. That's what it's like. And I'm so excited for you, because I think what's coming is going to be just the ride of a lifetime. It is going to be just absolutely insane when it gets there. And being strategic makes a big difference. Getting yourself ready, going out there, really investigating and stuff like that. And guys, I have to report, look, I just yesterday, about this time, opened up my coaching, and the whole thing's already filled up. And, I wish I could open up more. I really love you, and I do genuinely want to help you guys. But I'm going to tell you, I have to stay committed to what we're doing as well. And I don't want to get out there and overbook myself and not be able to keep those commitments. And something else I need to throw out there. Guys, I am getting hundreds and hundreds of emails. I mean, hundreds of emails all the time. And I would love to have the ability to really answer all those. But I have to give you, the honest truth of it is, I don't have that kind of time. And of the available time that I've got, well, dividing that, balancing that between my family, Judy and the family, and, my community, it matters. But I'm going to be on, it is not a 50-50 split. Let's be honest, my family, Judy and my family, they're going to get 90% of that time. And I would say that's exactly what you should be doing too. A lot of people tell me, hey, David, one of my goals in this space is to have more time with my family. Guys, you know what? If we could restructure our priorities, we can have that now. Wouldn't it matter? Wouldn't it matter so much more? Because I'm going to tell you, the one thing that we got, and we're not getting any more of, is time. And you just don't know how long you're going to have that person with you and how much time you think you're really going to have. We always have this attitude, we're banking on more time, and that can be evaporated just like that. Something can happen to you. Something can happen to your family. A lot of you know we lost one of our sons last year. He was 31 years old. That time is gone. But we love him, and we know he still loves us, and God has done a great work in our lives, and you've been such a supportive community. But I'm throwing that out there just to let you know that, look, I'm not ignoring those emails, guys. It's just I'm prioritizing that time. And so, guys, just be out there and do what you can do and learn what you can learn. And just get yourself buckled in and answer those questions, and that for yourself, because I'm going to tell you what, it's going to take you way further. Do not just believe it because I said it, they said it, he said it, or my good friend Jake Claver said it. Get out there and build that conviction for yourself, just like we did, You'll be amazed. You will be amazed. And guys, I'm going to tell you what, we are in for some kind of a show. I really believe we are. And like I said, I can't wait for you to get there. So guys, until tomorrow, when we're going to have another amazing coffee chat, have a fabulous one and take care.